I know.
Damn, it's cold out. It's so cold in here. It's smoky in here. So what's up, y'all? We about to go into the garden to check on the stuff we got planted. Because we did have a cold front and it's been real cold lately. You know, it's been like 20 and 30 degrees. We had a cold snap. We had an incident the other day where our pipes burst because it was cold. It started to get cold right in the middle when we was building our planters, y'all. And it actually started when I started fixing the truck. You ever notice whenever you start doing something important, something happens? That's life, y'all.
Feels good out here. It's just cold.
It's still cold. It's so cold, I'm about to put this hood on my head. I tried to let y'all see my pretty face, but I'm about to put this hood on my head. So as y'all can see, we got our planters covered up. They've been covered up for about 2 weeks now, maybe, ever since it started getting cold. We went out of town, and when we came back and we found that one side of our planters, the cover flew off. So it kind of damaged the leaves on it, so they got frostbite. So we're gonna uncover this right now for the first time to see what they look like, and we're gonna show y'all what it looks like if you don't cover up your plants and what happens to them. So we're gonna uncover it. So to keep it from blowing off, we put these 2x4s on there. Dang, it's too cold. I gotta put this on my head. Put these 2x4s on here to keep it from blowing off. So we're gonna check it out. Check it out right now. So it's not looking too good over here, y'all. As you can see, most of them is just dead. Even our big stalk right there, we had a big one right there. He died. And let's see what the soil look like. The soil's still kind of moist. It ain't that bad. This soil over here look a little dry. These died, but the onions are still living. And one thing about onions is that they're pretty resilient when it comes to cold weather. We're gonna check out this side here, over here too. Dang. So we really gotta go again. Dang, these cabbages is just gone. Dang, just dead. Y'all see that? This was full of lettuce, and they all died. So we're gonna have to start over. Now we're gonna check the ones that's in the ground. Hopefully the ones that's in the ground gonna be the ones that survive. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Y'all see that? Doing this thing off, baby. So the ones that we got in the ground, they survive way better than the ones that we had in the raised beds. And we haven't even watered these. So for those that's thinking about planting everything in raised beds, the problem that you probably might have is if you allow your raised bed soil to get dry for too long, and if it get cold, by it being off the ground and by the sides of it having air circulating around it, it'll cause it to dry. Versus it being in the ground. And the ground naturally takes care of the plant, because each time it rain or snow, the moisture and water goes into the ground and it'll make its way to the plant. And if the plant has already established roots, it'll make its way to the water. But in a raised bed, if there's no water in the raised bed, there's nowhere for the roots to make its way to. So as you can see in our garden, the onions are still alive and thriving, but that lettuce is dead. So that's okay though. We had too much lettuce anyway. And we got all these cabbages here. These lettuce over here, they look real good. What you think, baby?
I'm glad that some of our lettuce on that side did survive, because we did have like 100 and something stalks of lettuce. And even though I'm not too happy that they all died, because these could have been sold and we could have made money off of these. But anyways, we'll just start again.
Could have been sold, could have been eaten.
Yeah, because we were eating them. We just weren't eating them fast enough. It was just too much. But again, I believe even though what Davon said about it being in a raised bed versus being in the ground, if the covers weren't off, I still believe that they would have survived even in the raised bed. And the reason why they died, because the covers came off. Because when we came back, the covers weren't off on the ones that were in the ground. They were off in the ones that were in the planter. But anyways,
well, actually, they died because the soil is dry. As we can see, this soil used to be black. Now you can see it's gray and very dry. It's like sand now. That's why they died, because of lack of water and the temperature change. If there was water here, they would have still been alive. Like over here, we could take a look at these over here. As you can see, the dirt is still black. It's black here, and it's moist. So that's what's keeping them alive. That's what's allowing them to not wither away, and it gives them the strength or the nutrients that they need in order to survive this cold weather. Like, we could actually leave this off of here, because lettuce could survive in 20-degree weather. It's just you got to have that combination going. Lettuce is like 90-something% water. If you don't have the water, then it's nothing. It'll shrivel up and die. So that's what we got going on here. Those growed out really nice. Like, those are more healthy than the ones that was in here. So the only thing we didn't do over here was we didn't space them out a lot over here. But if we would have spaced these out more, they would have been more healthy than that and more bunchy. What you think, baby? Why?
At least we can salvage our bunched onions. So,
and that's fine, because we actually ran out of space, right? We had so much lettuce, we didn't have nowhere to plant nothing at. And we didn't want to get too crazy planting stuff in the ground, because we're planning on planting stuff in the ground over there. But we want to create a video as we're doing that, so we can actually have more content. So we should be able to utilize these for some, like, carrots. God, it's cold out here. I'm trying to keep warm. I can't talk with my hands out my pocket. Good God. Dang. Whew.
I mean, the sun is not even out, y'all. It's just, I mean, it looks really nice out here, but the sun is not out. So the winds are making it extra cold.
Yeah, they said it feels like what when the wind blows?
It feels like 29. It's actually like 40-something degrees, but it feels like 29 because of the winds.
Yeah, for real.
So, we're not gonna be out here too long.
For real. These plants better water themselves.
Yeah, we're gonna pull up these dead lettuces. Not sure when, because if it's cold, it's too cold, and we're not doing it. But we're gonna pull up the dead lettuces, and some of the bunch onions did die. We're just gonna clean out the planterns and replant some of the ones that we already have in the house that are turning into seeds or buttons. I forgot the name of it, but we have some in our greenhouse in one of the rooms, and we'll just plant them out here.
And some of these was bunch onions and some of them were sweet onions. So I think when the sweet onions are ready to pull, they die back. So that might be just sweet onions that we need to pull up, and there might be some onion bulbs in there. I don't know. I gotta look and see how long it was supposed to take for the bunch onions to be ready to harvest. But I know we put a combination of bunch onions and sweet onions in here. It was the Texas sweets or something like that.
But the most important part is to actually know what you're putting, what you're planting,
Label
and when it's supposed to come up or to harvest, because that will save you a whole lot of time in trying to figure out what's what. So again, this is our first time actually planting, lettuce and just any type of planting really, and we're learning as we go. So we did take some lessons from our first planting, and again we're going to uproot all the dead lettuce and onions, or whatever. If they may not even be dead, like Davon said, it might be the other types of onions. We weren't sure. So the next time
you can actually pull one up now just to check and see.
The next time we'll actually label the area to see what's what it is, so that we'll know.
This was a bunch of onion. So the other ones next to it is probably bunch too. Well, I could have just cut the dead part off and just let it grow, because this is still growable right here. It don't smell too oniony though. So
it's also not good to plant a whole lot of one thing unless you plan on selling them, because it's going to be a waste. As you can see, it's going to be a waste if you don't have anything to, if you don't plan on doing anything with it besides eating it. And we don't have like a huge family. It's only us two. So we are not able to eat all of this lettuce and onions, and even if we eat it every single day. So it's always good to plan what you're going to do with the amount of food that you're going to grow.
Well, this is our first time, and we do plan on doing large production farming, meaning we're going to grow a whole lot. So when we started planting these, we just wanted to plant a whole lot
and to see how it comes out.
See how it come out.
It came out pretty well.
So if you want to plant a whole lot, you can go ahead and plant a whole lot, but it's just going to be a learning experience if it's your first time, because you're going to learn what you need to do, what you can't do, and what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
And we learned that we most definitely, if we're going to have raised beds, inside of our raised beds, we got to have drip irrigation with timer, and we also need to have a permanent location so that when we set up all of this stuff, it's going to be there forever. We ain't got to worry about reinstalling something or wasting pipes or hoses because we got to disconnect it, put it somewhere else, and it don't fit. So that's why we don't got drip irrigation hooked up here, because we haven't put our raised beds and stuff in the permanent spot yet. But when we get it in our permanent spot, we are going to put our raised bed, we're going to put the drip irrigation. We got the supplies over there and the timer and everything on our raised beds. And that's going to be over there on that side where our actual farm is going to be. And in our raised beds, we're going to probably have some stuff that you got to plant deep, like carrots, potatoes, beets. We tried doing the beets and the cabbage, but with cabbage, it's kind of tricky. You can't really grow them the same way you grow the lettuce, because they have different requirements, and the lettuce could withstand the cold better than the cabbage, and the cabbage requires more water. Well, the cabbage requires more water than the lettuce. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, you gotta separate those.
Right. Just separate the darn things and figure out what works best. And then that's how you have success with your cabbages and lettuces or different varieties of vegetables that have different requirements.
Yeah, you need to know what goes with what and when. But anyways, again, that's just a learning experience. You know, as we continue to grow these vegetables and anything else, you know, we're just seeing what works.
Right.
You know, documenting and seeing what works.
Yeah. And this is not a sad day for us at all. It was just us coming out here and seeing what happened. We had a lot of things happen. Like
that we experienced for the first time.
Right.
Like, we're not used to the cold. We're not used to planting, having a garden. So, like Davon said, this is just a learning experience. I mean, we know what we did to make this work, and we'll just perfect it. So, just stay tuned, and you know, you'll see the outcome of part 2 garden.
Yeah, I can't wait to get all of our in the ground. I like the ground.
You like the ground better than the planter?
Because it seems to me like the ground is less maintenance, and the ground just takes care of itself. Only thing we're gonna have to worry about with the ground is just keeping the weeds out of our vegetables.
Yeah.
But as far as it having enough water, I think the ground is the best, and we don't have to be on top of it so much like these raised beds.
The raised bed. And I agree, and as well as you got to know the type of soil. You know, if the ground is even good enough for you to plant in, depending on your area. So, as we could see, our ground was really good. Even in the areas that is not even permanent. That's not even a permanent area for the lettuce, but we just tested it out to see how it would be, and as you guys saw, that it was beautiful.
Let me show y'all again.
Beautiful green, big, vibrant lettuces. So, you know, we're gonna transport those lettuce into the area, the more permanent area, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So it was fun growing our lettuce.
And bunched onions. At least we know that they did last a lot more than the other things that we did plant, and we'll just replant them. That's it. Yeah.
So we got all this soil here still.
That's reusable.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, you know. And we can save some of these lettuces here. I don't think all of them are dead, so we'll save some of the ones that can be salvaged in the front.
Because what a lot of people don't know is that you can just cut the rotten part off and just keep the root, and then just water it, and it'll come back.
Yeah.
But some of these done.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, dang, it looked like something else going on with this though.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at how big the root is. These roots is pretty big. That grew fast. It's like an afro. That grew pretty fast.
Put that in there and it'll regrow.
So that's our video for today, y'all. We showed y'all what our garden is looking like after the big snowstorm. And it didn't survive, y'all.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the updates.
Yeah.
Okay. Till next time, as the day unfolds.